Idaho Matters podcast is brought to you by St. Luke's On-Demand Virtual Care, which allows patients to see a provider from their home using a computer or smartphone with on-demand care for common ailments such as a cough, sore throat, or a sinus issue. More information at stlukesonline.org.
Hi, I'm Charlie Hunt.
And I'm Jackie Kettler. We're both political scientists who also love to gossip about political scandals.
In Season 1 of Scandalized, we told the stories of some of our favorite scandals from across American history.
While we work on Season 2, we're dropping 5 brand new bite-sized episodes to whet your appetite.
Listen to new episodes of Scandalized starting Monday, September 29th at boisestatepublicradio.org or wherever you get your podcasts.
More Idaho Matters now from the studios of Boise State Public Radio News. I'm Gemma Gaudette. As part of our Land and Legacy Farming in Idaho series, we asked farmers to contact us with their stories. So as we continue to explore the loss of more than 2,000 farms in Idaho over a 5-year period and how those losses and how continued growth keep affecting the agricultural community, farmers have reached out to us. In fact, Casey O'Leary sent us an email. She teaches horticulture at the College of Western Idaho, and she's the co-founder of Snake River Seed Cooperative. She was growing vegetables in the Treasure Valley, but couldn't find long-term access to a good piece of land. So she created the Taproots Farm Hub. It's a farm incubator. It's designed to give farmers access to shared land and equipment, helping with marketing their crops and a plot of land they could work long-term. And Casey has been kind enough to join us live today to talk more. Casey, welcome to the show.
Hi, I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for having me. And I'm so stoked that you had me come on toward the end of your series. I've been loving this series. It's been so awesome. And I feel like what we're working on is definitely aiming to solve some of the things that your other guests have been talking about. So thanks.
Oh my gosh. Well, Casey, thank you so much. And honestly, thank you for writing to us. We so appreciate that. So I want to talk a little bit about the fact that you had an urban farm in Boise for 18 years, but you farmed on 8 different plots of land. So how come you had to move around so much?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of your other guests have said, I mean, the development pressure is huge. So, everything from some of the plots have been developed. Now there's houses on those plots. In some cases, the owner of the plot moved. And so the new owner didn't want us to continue there. That type of thing. It does make it very difficult for farmers to build a long-term farm business when they have to move. I mean, you cut all your drip lines to fit a certain field. You do so much. Things are so completely dependent on the land that you're on that when you have to pick up and move, it's a big pain in the neck.
So, we just heard that, right, from Ryan and John in our last segment. Ryan farms in Ontario, and he's leasing this land. John is leasing this land that his family has farmed for generations. And as you heard, John is so concerned about the fact that it's going to end up being subdivisions when he retires. So, I mean, Casey, how hard is it to farm when you are renting land? Because I understand you have a personal story about you had a crop destroyed, right? When part of your farm was literally bulldozed.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that did happen. It was horrible. And then they called the cops on me. So yeah, it was awful. It was awful. But the thing is, I think what we're hearing, I thought that last segment was fascinating because basically you're talking about all of this land being bought up by private investment firms, right? That's a serious problem. If the only plan that we have moving forward is to turn our farmland into subdivisions and strip malls, that is very dangerous. Those subdivisions and strip malls are completely reliant on consumption to provide for every one of their basic needs, right? So we do actually need to figure out how to get farmland into hands of farmers long term.
So how do you do that then? I mean, because it seems like there are such drawbacks for farmers when they can't get a long-term lease. I mean, we've heard farmers, with our series talking about you almost don't want to make a lot of investment in that land because you might not be farming that land in 3 or 5 years.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's why we don't have a lot of asparagus. That's why it's really hard to get orchard crops here. I mean, those crops take time to produce. So yeah, if you don't have a long lease, you're gonna go for the quick commodities. Um, yeah, and I think, I mean, how do we do it? I mean, I will say I don't believe that industrial ag in this area is doing itself any favors. It's really difficult to get the public behind, protecting a 200 acre or a 900-acre plot of alfalfa that's getting shipped to Japan, or silage corn that's being shipped
Mm,
off to a mega dairy. And one of your previous guests talked about that pivoting during COVID to growing actual food for actual people, right? I mean, in
mhm.
this industrial ag system, we do not have, there's no sun warmed tomato that a person can bite into to remind themselves that they're a sensual creature alive on a wonder filled planet. That's how we get people involved in agriculture, is we grow food that is delicious for them, and they have opportunities to engage with the agricultural system that's producing
Yeah.
that food. And I think if we can get to that point, now we're really talking. Then, what if we create a farm incubator where we're connecting the community to food and agriculture through really direct access
Mhm.
to fresh organic food?
Well, Casey, just you talking about this made me think of farmers markets, right? All you have to do is look at the Boise farmers markets and how they are overrun with people on a Saturday morning wanting those fresh produce, right? Those fresh vegetables, those
Yes.
fresh berries. So, I mean, is it needing to make more of that, almost cellular connection with, well, okay, you're coming to a grocery store, you're going to the farmer's market, but do you understand where your food is actually coming from, if that makes sense?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, for sure. That's definitely a part of it. I think if we want a rapidly urbanizing population to care about protecting agriculture, we have to get them into close proximity with agricultural experiences, and that are viscerally enjoyable and pleasurable for them. And so I see the work we're doing to create a supportive farm incubator for young farmers as a key element of that. So basically, folks could come and they could get a plot of land on this shared farm site where they would be able to run their farm business long term, have a long lease, have and know that community. What if this land was owned by the community and not by a
Mm,
private investment firm? Now you've got real community buy-in, and you can be doing things that bring the community to that land and help them understand agriculture in ways that they can actually tangibly connect with, eating food
mm.
from the place, etc. And then, we can
So,
talk, I don't know if we're going to get to it, but we can talk also about the benefits to farmers in that. But I think that's the benefit to the community, is connecting
yeah.
them with ag.
Well, I want to talk now, if we could, about a farm incubator. You mentioned this, but you created, as I said, Taproot's Farm Hub. Talk to us about what this is and how it works.
Yeah, so it's a farm incubator. There are plenty of these around the country, really cool, really awesome, successful models. We're just in the beginning stages. We've gotten some grant money. We're excited to be able to make it happen. So an incubator is where you get a big piece of shared land. It's a lot like a business incubator, but it's for farms. And so
Mm,
you have shared land, people can get long leases on that land, and then you also provide shared equipment. So, like, not every single new beginning farmer has to figure out how to go into $100,000 of debt to buy a new tractor. They can instead just rent one by the hour from the incubator. So you have shared equipment, you have shared infrastructure, a nice GAP certified wash pack station where people can process food, a nice certified kitchen where they can do value added stuff with the food that they grow. And then you collaborate on markets, so you can aggregate product and you can get it into bigger buyers than just everybody going and standing at the farmer's market on Saturday.
mm,
Now they can do that if they want to, if that's a part of their business model. But if they don't want to leave the farm, they don't want to go and deal with the public, they could also sell it into the farm incubators aggregation program, and then we can get into schools, prison, the city, any sort of
mhm,
institutional organization, hospitals who might want larger quantities of lightly processed food. We can make that happen. So, and then the other component of an incubator is that you provide training and mentorship for beginning farmers. So, a lot of your guests on this program have talked about not feeling like they have labor, that they have skilled
mhm,
labor, or not having this, knowing how to pass along the skills to the next generation. So, a part of this incubator is you come in, you don't have to know how to farm yet, but you can learn, and then you can have on-site mentorship by other farmers who are literally farming right there, and you can look at what they're doing and you can learn from them, and then you can develop your own business practices through doing that. So you get business development mentorship as well as farming mentorship. And then the other really important part is that it's freaking lonely. Farming is lonely. So to be able to provide a supportive place where, if you've had a
Mhm.
hard day, instead of just crying over your hoe in the middle of your field, you can actually talk to another person who's going through a similar thing as you and find
Yeah.
camaraderie and companionship and make it feel like you yourself as a farmer are also connected to a really strong and supportive community.
So, Casey, you mentioned that you got grant money for this. So, two questions: where did you get the grant from, and also where are you in the process of the farm incubator? Is it up and running yet? Or are you creating it? Where are you in that process?
Yeah, let's see. So we got the grant money from the USDA's Transitioning to Organics Partnership Program. It's called TOP. So their interest is in seeing more ground transitioned into certified organic production. And our point is that, these small farmers that, like myself and other urban farmers, we don't have long leases on pieces of land, so we're never going to certify that
Mm-hmm.
ground. It takes 3 years to certify a piece of ground organic. So
Mm.
so they're so if we get a certification, organic certification on the incubator farm property, then every business who operates under the incubator will then be able to use that certification. So that's why they're interested in our program. And as far as where
Mm-hmm.
we are in the process, we're brand new. We've just formed this entity. We've got a working group made up of local farmers. We do monthly events that connect the public to what we're working on. And we've just created a board of directors, and we're basically looking for land. We've been talking to some landowners. We've had some really great conversations. We're looking for land. If any of your listeners have land that they'd like to see um, potentially be a site for leaving that kind of legacy for a farm incubator, we'd love to talk to them. But yeah, so we're just starting it out. We're just in the beginning stages. We've got grant money that'll take us through the end of next year to
Mm-hmm.
work on it. And then in that time, we're just going to keep building momentum. And as soon as we lock down a piece of land, we're going to hit the ground running.
So, Casey, this sounds like it's something that would be so beneficial to farmers, to the community at large, right? To educating people about the importance of farming and the legacy of farming in Idaho. So, if there is someone who maybe a new farmer, or maybe even someone who's been farming for generations, how do they learn more about becoming a part of the Taproots Farm Hub?
Yeah, thank you for asking. We have a website. It's taprootsfarmhub.org. We're also active on the social medias on Facebook and Instagram. Um, but yeah, I think that's the easiest way they can reach right out to me directly. There's contact info on the website, but my email is info@taprootsfarmhub.org. Um, and really, I think, it's going to take a big, broad base of support to build this thing.
Yeah.
So, we want aspiring farmers who are looking for land. We want current farmers who potentially might want to serve in mentorship roles. We want landowners who might have land they want to donate. But we also want, people who work for the city and are excited about potentially seeing city or county owned land be used for this project. There's a lot of different models out there where the public actually owns the land, whether through a city, a county, a soil and water conservation district, whatever. So, anybody like that, people who are interested in putting on cool events, chefs, restaurateurs, tax accountants, like whatever, we need them all. So we're trying to build a big, broad community of support, and we're having a really fun time doing it. We've been hosting these
Well, it
monthly meet and greets, and they're so fun. So you should come to a meet and greet if you're interested, just to meet all of us and get involved.
Well, I can tell you're having a great time, Casey. And I want to thank you so much for taking time to talk with us. Casey O'Leary has been talking with us. She's the project manager of Tap Roots Farm Hub, a farm incubator in the Treasure Valley. You can find more information from our Land and Legacy Farming in Idaho series on our website, boisestatepublicradio.org. And if you have a farming story like Casey did, send us an email, idahomatters@boisestate.edu. This is the Idaho Matters podcast. I'm Gemma Gaudette.
Stay connected with Boise State Public Radio on Instagram. From breaking news and local stories to behind-the-scenes videos, it's where our community comes together. Follow Boise State Public Radio today.